Lisa LoCurto, and I'm the owner of Fields of Grace Farm. I raise Nigerian Dwarf Goats. I originally started with Nigerian Dwarfs. I was looking for an animal that would give back on the farm. I had 5 acres and have raised horses for the last 12 years and wanted something that would contribute back to the farm. Nigerian Dwarf Goats were originally imported from Nigeria, was imported to feed the lions at the zoos. The zookeepers found out that they also were a heavy milk producer. The breed was created. There are several factors that stand out with the Nigerians is you can breed them all year round, so you can have milk all year round. But with Nigerian, you can get every color, marks, stripes, polka dots, you just never know. You have blue-eyed animals as well, and that's a big seller. My herd of about 100 has come from Massachusetts, Maine, Wisconsin, pretty much every state in the United States. We have 3 different registries. We have the American Dairy Goat Association, which is the most common with shows in this area. There's also the American Goat Society and the Nigerian Dwarf Goat Association. All of our goats can be registered in all 3. The benefits to having a registered goat is that you will know where it came from, what genetics were involved in it, and there's a whole slew of genetics throughout the Nigerians. It's a newer breed, but most people are trying to produce a small goat that will produce big time. And on average, I expect my does giving at least a quart twice a day. Another benefit to having registered goats is there are shows that you can show your animals throughout the country. A lot of people like to have the whole family involved. On the average day on the farm, we do a feeding in the morning with grain and with hay. Make sure that everybody has fresh water for the day. Milkers have to be milked twice a day if you're going to have them being competitive in the show ring. In order to produce the most milk, we feed alfalfa hay. Our grain is mixed. It's a dairy blend. It's mixed with black oil seeds called Boss. And then also we'll give them some calf manna and some different supplements. The milk for Nigerian dwarfs is the biggest draw. It has a really high butterfat content in it, so therefore when you're milking them, they'll produce more cheese per ratio than another milk that is in a lower butterfat. So even though you might have a salmon that milks a large amount, the Nigerian, you can get more cheese out of the milk that you're getting from your Nigerian. If you're looking to get into Nigerian dwarfs, I would do some research on the internet. There's lots of breeders. There's lots of information out there on goats in general, especially the Nigerians. It's probably the most popular goat right now, though they are getting more and more available. You'll want to look for animals that come from a tested herd. We test for CAE, which is a arthritic disease. There's CL, tuberculosis, bursitis, different things that you'll want to have tested if you're going to be consuming the milk. And then most of your herds will test yearly for that. Okay, when you're getting your Nigerian dwarf, you always want to get at least 2. You want a friend or a playmate for the goat. They don't do well by themselves. You can get a doe with another doe or with a wether, which is actually a gelded male, as a companion. A lot of people want to start off with just a buck and a doe, and I try to steer them away from that because you'll have to wind up getting a friend for the buck and a friend for the doe after a while because they can't stay together and grow together because you have to wait for the doe to be able to be breeding age. So the little boy can breed at 8 weeks old, and the doe's got to wait till she's at least 8-9 months old. So they'll have to have a playmate before that. For their living conditions, you can start off, if you're starting off with babies, I recommend people getting the little kennels off of Craigslist. Your smaller homesteads are definitely attracted to the Nigerian dwarf versus a large animal. When they're coming out to look at goats, people are generally either looking for a pet, something to provide their own milk for the farm, for their family. Sometimes they're looking to have a show animal or breeding, start a little business. So it always varies depending. I try to find out what people are looking for. Sometimes they'll decide they don't even want to go after they come out, but at least they'll know what the commitment is and what they're getting into. I see a lot more breeders in Tennessee now than when we first started. And so I'm hoping that we'll have more shows in the area. We'll have more opportunities for different herds, for different bloodlines. I'm going to have clinics in the future on milking and care for animals, as well as making cheeses and soaps and different crafts, different things. There's a lot of things you can do with the milk besides just actually consuming it. The milk for Nigerian dwarfs is the biggest draw. It has a really high butterfat content in it, so therefore when you're milking them, it'll produce more cheese per ratio. There's all kinds of different businesses that you can come up with your Nigerians. We have people that make actual bags and purses out of the feed bags even. So, I mean, the sky's the limit. You just gotta follow your heart to see what you enjoy doing, and then usually there's a business behind that.